What's up guys, White out here bringing you Heroic Spawn. To this fight we brought 2 tanks, a warrior and a druid, 3 heals, 2 shamans, and a holy pally, and 6 DPS. To start up the fight, we killed the corruptions. We started in the front left and went clockwise, leaving up the back right. After they were dead, we'd hop on the front right spa, as you can see here, and work on dispelling the debuff. Dispelling the debuff is pretty simple. All you gotta do is just follow a few rules. First one is obviously don't let the death get all the way down to 0, because that'll wipe the raid. Second off, you want to always try to get one of the first rounds on each tank, especially the blood tank, because he's the one who's going to be taking the most damage. After that, the next 2 people you want to probably prioritize are the people who are getting people out of grips. In this case, it was our hunter and mage. So if I'd always try to get on the warrior tank, and if not, I'd settle for the mage or hunter, because if they get gripped, since they're the ones who are supposed to be on it, it could take a little longer, because either one of them has to do it by themselves, or it might take a second for someone to switch over and help them out. After that, I usually went to healers, the shamans, and the paladin, because healer aggro is a big thing in this fight, and you don't want them sitting there eating bloods when they can have, a free defensive cooldown on them. So usually after I got it on the tanks and then the 2 grip targets, go healers, and then don't be picky. One thing I did try to do is get the Warlock and Shadow Priest last, since they already have passive damage reduction. I believe Warlock is 25% from Soul Link with their pet, and Shadow Form has one too. I don't know the percentage offhand though. So here's the first lift up. Lift ups don't differ from normal, except you have to see them twice. Stay in the middle. Healers get mana back. I use TC. You want to get it past 50% for sure, since you have to see it twice. Obviously, that'd be halfway. But it's safe to shoot for about 40%, and you should be fine. Let's talk about timing though for a second. You definitely do want to time when you blow the plate up, and here's why. The grips, if someone gets gripped during the tenant phase, they're either out of that tenant phase, or you have to pull DPS off the tenant to get them out. We found that at early stages of trying to learn this fight that the grip was a big deal, and sometimes you can't get it past 50% if they're gripped during it, because you're pulling DPS off, they're not DPS because they're stunned, and it's just not going to work out for you. So usually Sean, our druid tank, would try to time it so that he'd go pick up 9, as you can see right here. If you look, the grip is coming out, he's picking up 9 stacks, he got 9 stacks, there's the grip. And that was just the best way we could do it, because we didn't want people getting gripped during the actual tenant exposure. So there goes the first plate. Now after each plate, we'd kill the corruption in the back, run up and kill front right, and we'd always stack in the front right one, which would be the last corruption spot we killed. Now this all happens pretty quick, but what we try to do is try to soak up as much bloods as possible. So we'd wait a second, let that blood, or let the amalgamation come out, so we can go soak bloods, and then we'd quickly run back and stack up. This part can get pretty hectic, because sometimes you will get 9 stacks on a Malg. Now obviously not on purpose, but the reason why you do it is because you don't want to get overrun with bloods later on, because the bloods will slowly crawl back and respawn. So you want to, you know, mop up, if you want to call it, as many as you can without trying to get 9 stacks, but it does happen. But if you do it quick enough, we have survived like once or twice where one got to 9 stacks and pulsed once, because we are in there popping healer cooldowns. I know I linked every single roll, and sometimes Shaman linked coming out of the roll, just depending on how much went out, because while you're rolling, you will get, on that one you'll get 2 debuffs you have to worry about dispelling, and you know there's not much you can do, because if you wait too long you jeopardize a death debuff getting too low, and that could blow up the raid. The other debuff that I haven't talked much about is the Searing Plasma Healing Absorb debuff, which can screw you over. It absorbs heal, so the only way to get it out is to heal through it. And how it can mess you up is if people are at high stacks and they get gripped and they don't get taken out fast enough, you know, you can't heal them with the debuff. And also during that pulse, if you have a high stack of Searing Plasma and then you get gripped while the thing is pulsing, which we did, that's the route we did choose, was to usually have the grip go out during the pulse. You know, someone could go down, you'd have to waste a battle res, or Shaman had to pop up. So, you know, you want to watch it. You don't want to keep one ever too high. There's never nothing, like, you can always be doing something in this fight, and that's definitely one of them, is trying to get rid of Searing Plasma on people when you don't think there's anything significant to heal. This is also a good spot to show how we did tank the bloods and the Amaug. As you can see, the Amaug is kind of in the raid right now. It's just chilling in the middle, and our warrior has the bloods all stacked up near the plate. That way Sean can just take off running towards the plate, run over 9, and he's already there. You can't always do this though, depending on where previous bloods are at. You know, you can't hang out in the back, and you can't just simply run up there. I know definitely on the 3rd plate, when kiting comes a thing, you have to kite those bloods around, there's not always a perfect pile, and Sean has to go run around and find them and pick them up. So it's always nice to keep a neat pile so it can look that, I mean, that was a clean pickup to plate, you know, to get on the attendant, and it was really smooth. But like I said, it can't always do that. But that's what you want to try to shoot for. You know, do whatever fits you. Don't try to do anything super fancy, we found. But that was one thing in the early stages of learning this fight, was we were trying to be really picky about where we tank it. And then when, you know, we realized that it's not a huge issue. It does help, but it doesn't like make you wipe. You know, you can kind of do whatever with it. Right here, actually, as you can see, one of the Amaugs did get 9 stacks, and it did pulse once, and you know, it hurts, and it did lead to a death, I believe. Yep, Warlock goes down because he did have the debuff on him in the stack, but luckily no one had died up to that point. We can get him up, and we got him up a pretty inconvenient way, since he was our battle res. The only battle res we have left is the tank, and he picked him up while tanking, which is not recommended, but you know, we had to do it there. So here's the last plate and the home stretch, and also the most healing intensive part of this fight. With all the bloods piled where they were, we tanked the Amaug plate side, and our prot warriors sitting in the back with the bloods. Now this is where healer threat becomes a huge issue. With all the bloods, it's hard to see, you know, who's hitting. And if you look at my screen, there's a lot of attacking you, bloods running at me, and we have a huge pile of them ready to respawn. If you look, they're almost there in that hole. So when you're picking up the bloods for this plate, you definitely do want to run and grab those. He's over there right now getting them. You try to get all the ones near the plate and then make the run back. It's a long run since we were so far back. So make sure you don't kill it early. A tip though at this point with healer threat is if you do have a paladin, throw a bop on a healer, and I believe paladins have another move that reduces threat on a target. So you definitely want to use that, especially on shamans, since shamans don't have a significant threat dropper. So first exposure of the tenant is done right there. We got it down to about where we need it, and we know it's almost home stretch from here. We did choose to pop hero on the amalgamation. This is the 6th amalgamation and final if you can kill the tenant. So we chose to pop hero. There's plenty of blood, whatever, on the ground, and all you need to do is get it low as quick as possible, grab the blood, get over there, and use all your healers cooldowns. Don't leave any cooldowns spared. Lock rocks, eat them during the pulse. I mean, this is where it gets super hectic. So guys, that's it for this guide. If you liked it, click that like button, leave a comment, ask questions. I'll try to get back to your questions. This is a tough fight, and I wish you guys luck. Now you can listen to Shama overreact to the kill.
Yeah!
Fuck yes.
Woo! I think you beat me too. No. Oh, goddamn, that is awesome, dude. Holy shit. Finally, man.
That was fucking
Fucking A, guys.